Oh. Hi Alfredo. Hi Nicholas. Why you look so sad? I sad because my homework is not finished yet. Why? Because I have to explain what a graph is but I can't. Because I have absolutely no idea what a graph is. Oh. Graph. I know that. Maybe I can help you. Really? Yeah. Let's go to the bus stop. I will explain it there. Okay, let's go. So what do you want to know? First, I want to know what is graph? Graph. In mathematics and computer science, a graph is the basic object of study in graph theory. In everyday language, a graph is a set of objects called points, vertices, or angles connected by connectors called lines or sides. In a qualified graph, which is usually not directed, a line from point A to point B is considered to be the same as a line from point B to point A. In directed graph, the line has a direction. Basically, a graph is depicted in the form of a diagram as a set of points, angles or vertices, combined with curves, lines or sides. What else do you want to ask? Can you explain the graph model of AIRLINES routes? Oh. The graph was applied to determination of flight schedules and pathways. Because many flights carried out at the same time result in many planes operating at one time, so the possibility of accidents in the air is quite large if the determination of flight schedules and paths is not well regulated. So, flight schedules and routes must be arranged properly by the airline, in addition to minimizing accidents, as well as affecting efficiency and profits for the airline. After the flight path is obtained, then the flight schedule is determined. Determining flight schedules must consider other aircraft that will take off and land. In determining flight schedules, the vertices in the graph represent planes, while the sides represent plane relationships that might collide if departing simultaneously. Then, the node is stained so that the related planes are not the same color. The same colored vertices represent that the two vertices can go together. Oh yeah. I understand. Can you explain the special graph and plane graph? Special graph. There are some special graphs that are often found. Some of them are as follows. First, complete graph. Complete graphs are simple graphs that each point has a side to all other points or all points are neighbors to all other points. A complete graph with endpoints denoted by knots. Second, bipartition graphics. Bipartition graph G is a graph whose set of points can be grouped into two subsections V1 and V2, so that each side in G connects a point at V1 to a point at V2, and is expressed as G, V1, V2. In other words, each pair of points V1 as well as points at V2 are not neighbors. If each point at V1 is next to all points at V2, then G, V1, V2 is called a complete bipartition graph. If V1 consists of m points and V2 consists of n points, then the complete bipartition graph is denoted by Kmn. Third, regular graph. A graph with each degree having the same degree is called a regular graph or regular graph. If the degree of each point is r, then the graph is called regular graph or regular graph. Degree to jot or regular graph r can be written regular graph r. The number of edges on a regular graph is nr2. Examples of regular graphs are shown below. Fourth, cycle graph. Cycle graph is a simple graph with 2 degree points. The nickel graph with endpoints is denoted by Cn. Fifth is plane graph as you asked to explain. Graph G is called a planar graph, if G can be drawn on a flat plane so that none of its sides intersect except maybe at the endpoints of these sides. Whereas plane graph is a graph drawn on a flat plane so that none of its sides intersect except maybe at the endpoints of these sides. Thus, planar graphs are graphs that can be drawn as plane graphs. The plane graph must be a planar graph, but the reverse is not true. Sixth, Eulerian graph and semi-Eulerian graph. A circuit in graph G that contains all sides of G is called an Euler circuit. If graph G contains the Euler circuit, then graph G is called the Euler graph. An open trail containing all sides of a graph is called an Euler trace. Graph G is called a semi-Euler graph if G contains an Euler trace. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Now I know what a graph is. You're welcome, Alfredo. Thank you for watching, guys. Forgive if there is an explanation that is difficult to understand. Don't forget to like and subscribe, cause I need 300 likes and 200 subs to complete my assignment.